sorry if I look a little bit windswept. We have just been down to the beach and it was incredibly windy. So it is Friday afternoon and I'm going to film a reading vlog this weekend. Unusually for me, both the books that I'm reading are on my Kindle. I am reading an ARC which is called The Sea Wife by Amity Gage. Because it's an ARC, I don't know what page I'm on, but I've got about 10% of that left to go, so that's been good. It's literary fiction with a little bit of a mystery. It's about a husband and a wife who are struggling in their marriage. They've got 2 young children. The wife, Juliet, struggles with bouts of depression, and the husband, Michael, is just feeling more and more dissatisfied with his job and his life, and so they make the decision to buy a boat and go sailing for a year. And so we're kind of following their journey, and we know right from the beginning that something has happened to the marriage and to Michael, and we've since just discovered that he has passed away, but we don't really know the circumstances of it, so that's kind of what we're following. And then when I have finished that, I am going to pick up Dear Edward, which, as you know, is our book club pick for the month, so I'll film myself, or I'll vlog myself as I read my way through that as well. I've currently just been joined by this little fellow, and Pepper's over there, both absolutely knackered after the walk at the beach. So yeah, James has gone to get Megan from school, Eli's upstairs, the dogs are tired, which is actually quite unusual these days, so I am going to make the most of it and do some reading, I think. Popped upstairs just to try and take an Instagram photo. I've gone a bit dead on Instagram since Loki arrived, for obvious reasons, but also I think when we're not going out and doing anything, our lives are just really boring in the house. So yeah, I've just taken an Instagram photo. I did finish, I've got Dear Edward up on my Kindle now for the photo, but I did finish The Sea Wife. Probably give it 3 stars. The ending, the last like 5% was really weird, and I didn't really see the point of it. It was like a collection of writings from the wife's point of view, so you're not really sure how I feel about it. I forgot to say when I was describing it before that one of the interesting things is that we're getting the perspective of Juliet, both present and past. So present day whilst we're discovering what it is that has happened to husband Michael, and then flicking back to the past when they were on the boat, and her thoughts and her narrative is interspersed with entries by Michael into the ship's log. So practical things like their coordinates and their location and what they're doing, but also additional notes, so it sort of turns into more of a diary, which makes it interesting because you're getting his thoughts and you're getting Juliet's thoughts as well. It was a good book, it was interesting. It's kind of looking at the thing about Juliet and Michael is that they are very, very different, but something is obviously drawing them together. So it's kind of looking at love and marriage and relationships and life. And as I said before, Juliet suffers with depression and Michael just desperately wants to fix her, but just doesn't know how. And Juliet just feels very misunderstood. So it's a very interesting book. I'll try and give some more concise thoughts later when I've thought about it a bit more. It comes across, I think it's described as literary fiction, and there's no mention of the mystery, but I thought the mystery element was really good. There's this kind of suspicion that Michael has done something, and so Juliet's having a little bit of back and forth about whether he has done it or whether he is capable of doing it, and I thought that would have been really interesting to explore that a little bit more. It's kind of raised and then over and done with really quickly, but it brought a new dimension to the story because Juliet was looking at her husband in a different light, and yeah, overall I thought it was a good book. Probably 3.5 stars. I will think on it. I'm just going to take a little break and then I'm going to start, oh, just hit myself in the face, then I'm going to start Dear Edward. Very, very excited for this. As you know, we've got Anne coming to do the Q&A, and yeah, I've heard very good things. I think it's going to be very difficult to read and very moving, but I'm excited. So I'm going to take a short break. I'll check in with you all in a bit and let you know how I'm getting on. Haven't started Dear Edward yet. We're going to sit and watch the next film in the Marvel series. Whilst we've been off, James and I have been making our way through the Marvel films because we've never watched them all. Oh, there's a really annoying fly buzzing around. So probably, oh goodness, probably won't get too much reading done this evening, if any, but I'm definitely gonna do some reading tomorrow. We've got a really chilled out day tomorrow. James isn't even here for most of the day. So yeah, we're just gonna chill out at home with the pups. So I will definitely get some reading done. But right now, I'm going to jump in the shower because I can just feel the sticky pollen on my skin, put something comfortable on, try and get rid of this fly that is buzzing around. Yeah, and then we're going to watch a movie. Also, I'm just going to show you how cute the dogs are being because I never thought a week ago when we brought Loki home that this would be possible because Pepper just was not interested and Loki just wasn't able to be calm around Pepper. So I'm just going to show you the cutest thing. You have to excuse the fact that, number one, we've got the TV on a bookcase, and number two, this is not quite finished yet, but look. Good afternoon. So it's about 1:30. I started Dear Edward this morning. I'm about 30 pages in. So the plane crash has happened. We kind of met Edward's family at the very beginning, or he was Eddie at the very beginning, wasn't he? We've met his family. The crash has happened and he has just been picked up by his aunt and his uncle, but he hasn't really said very much. So I'm not too far in. I did a little bit of reading this morning and then we went for a walk with the dogs into the woods, into some local woods. Just had some lunch. Now we are back home. James has gone out. I'm waiting for the dogs to settle. I'm watching some, I don't want to say trashy Netflix film, but it's called Feel the Beat and I've never seen anybody talk about it ever. So whilst I'm waiting for dogs to settle, one dog in particular, I'm going to watch that and then I'll do a little bit more reading. The kids are occupying themselves. So yeah, I'm just going to chill, do that for a little bit and then I will do some more reading. So I will update you all when I get a little bit further on into the book. At the moment, my initial thoughts are I really like Anne's writing style. I think that it's going to be a really interesting book to get into. I like that we've already met a number of the people who were on the plane and they all seem to be in various ways carrying different levels of baggage, so I think that that's going to play a part as well. But yeah, not too far in, so reserving my judgment for a little bit later. But as I said, now I'm going to watch Feel the Beat and I will update you all in a little while. So just a little update, I am 87% of the way through Dear Edward, really close to the end now. So we're just beginning to discover what actually went wrong with the plane, which I feel like is a very deliberate move on the part of the author, in that we're getting this mix of present day Edward's story and then looking back at the plane journey, and because it's kind of gone from the beginning and we've gone all the way through, it definitely makes sense to do it that way. And also Edward has just spoken to his uncle about having discovered and having read the letters. It's such a strange feeling, because you just think how I can understand people wanting to write to Edward in their grief, and that it maybe alleviates some of those feelings for them. But at the same time, you know, when the crash happened, he was just a 12-year-old boy, and the author mentions it quite clearly. You know, Edward feels this pressure, and then he thinks, no, I'm not going to feel this pressure, because people are asking him things. Hundreds of people are asking him, do this, do that, live your life this way, live your life that way. And it must just be so confusing. You know, here's this young boy who is becoming a young man, who has gone through an incredibly traumatic experience and event himself. And then other people are putting obligations on him. And yeah, so I can understand it from both sides. But yeah, I've got to stop now because I need to go and pick Megan up from school. But I really feel like if I didn't have to leave, I could probably get the book finished within the next hour or so, because I feel like the whole way through we've been building to this moment, and now finally everything is kind of falling into place. And I really don't want to start reading, but I have to because I need to go and do the school run. But yeah, really enjoying it. It's so fluid and easy to read, and I am thoroughly enjoying it. So I will check in again when I'm a little bit closer to the end, if not when I finished, depending on when that is, and let you know how I'm getting on and my thoughts. Woke up this morning to the sound of James falling as he came up the stairs and spilling most of my cup of tea. What a good way to start the day, eh? I bet he thought so too, as he fell. So, typical Jess, I said that I would update you when I'd finished, and then I completely forgot. It just went out of my head. I got distracted doing other things, but I have finished Dear Edward. I gave it 3.75 stars on Goodreads. I enjoyed it. I thought that it was a lovely, poetic, coming-of-age story. You know, it covers all the basics. We've got grief and loss, but we've also got love and friendship, and Edward just finding his way in his new normal, which I think was particularly poetic given the state of things and our, you know, need to find our way in the new normal at the moment in the world. What lost it some stars for me, I felt like, well, first of all, I'll say I really enjoyed the dual timeline aspect. I thought that it gave the story momentum. We were obviously constantly moving forwards to find out what had happened to the plane. A little bit terrifying to realise that a co-pilot could be doing something and a pilot could have no idea, and obviously that was what caused the plane to go down. So yeah, that is actually quite terrifying. But what lost it some stars for me were the other characters. I think I said earlier, I can't remember, I really enjoyed that element of the book, and I would have liked a little bit more content based on those characters, particularly because I felt like there was more story to be told, and I felt like, particularly Benjamin and the soldier, I felt like Anne was alluding to more story, and I was expecting some kind of twist or turn to do with those characters, and it just never came. So yeah, I feel a little bit like I would have liked it to be more rounded out in terms of those character stories, but for Edward and for his journey and for his story, I just thought that it was done really well. It was just a lovely story. It gave me the feels at the end. I liked the way, oh yeah, don't listen to this if you haven't finished it yet, but I liked the way that Shay and Edward kind of got together in the end, and you know, you kind of get a flash forward into the rest of Edward's life, and you realise that he's going to be okay, as much as a person who's gone through an incredibly traumatic experience can be okay. And I liked when he met with the therapist, and I'm probably going to get the wording wrong, but the therapist pretty much said it's left its mark on you and it's something that you will carry for the rest of your life, but you can learn to live with it. And I really liked the way that he summed it up, and yeah, I just thought it tied everything off really nicely at the end. So because I've now finished, I think that I will end this vlog. I hope that you have enjoyed it. Do let me know what you thought of Dear Edward, although I know we're going to have our discussion shortly anyway. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I will speak to you all soon.